Just like organizing a hospital crash cart ensures everything is in its place for quick access in critical situations, organizing your Power BI workspaces can be your secret weapon for taming healthcare data overload. At Centrix, we see healthcare leaders struggling with data overload all the time. Struggle is real, right? Patient records, treatment plans, and financial report all scattered around. Finding the insights you need to improve patient care and hospital finances become a time-consuming gamble. By bringing everything together in a structured way, you will be able to make data-driven decisions faster, improve collaborations among healthcare teams, and deliver better patient outcomes. If you are interested to know how to organize workspaces in Power BI service, then this video is for you. Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into Power BI Workspaces, a central location for collaborating with colleagues on reports and dashboards. By creating a workspace, you can organize reports in one place, easily share them with your team, and collaborate on report creation and updates. Let's go to my Power BI service and first look at how we can create a workspace and then how to publish a content to that workspace. And we will end the video by sharing best practices on organizing and managing workspaces in Power BI service. Let's walk through setting up a workspace. We will access Power BI service, as you can see here on the screen, and navigate to the workspace section over here. We click on it, and here is where you can create new workspaces. So I'll click on new workspace, and now you have the options to give a name, a description, and assign that workspace to a domain, and also add an image. So we are just going to say that this is a test workspace. I'm going to give it a description. It's good to give a description so that you give your user a context of what this workspace is about. I'm just going to say this is for testing purposes. If you have a domain, you can add it to the domain. I'm not going to do that now. And then you can also add a workspace image. This is very important to consider, and we will discuss why at the end of this video. For now, I'm not going to add an image. I'm just going to say apply. And voila, this is our test workspace that was created. If you want to manage it, you come here to Workspace Settings, and this is where you can change the license info of your workspace, the system storage, and you can also delete it. And now if you want to manage access, so managing access means when you want to add people to the workspace. So Power BI offers different workspace roles, allowing you to manage access permissions. So you can assign roles like, so let's try someone. I'm gonna try, so you add the name or the email, and then you can decide which role you want to give it to, and each role has a different permission level. If you are interested to know what each role does, leave us a comment and we will drop a video. But for the purpose of this video, um, we are just discussing workspaces. So now you have added your workspace, you have added the people that you want to have access to this workspace. Now part 2, how we can publish a content to that workspace. And for that, we have to head to Power BI Desktop. So this is my Power BI Desktop. I have this report here that I would like to publish to the service, and more specifically to my test workspace. So you come here and you click on publish, and then of course you have to save everything you want. You click on save, and let's search for the one we just created. So I click test workspace, select, and now it's publishing. Workspace really facilitates collaboration so team members can work together on reports. And this is how we ensure that everyone stays on the same page. So if I go back to my Power BI service, I refresh, and now you can see my report and the semantic model for my report. Now that we have seen a quick overview on how you can create workspaces and add content to that workspace, let's move to the main part of this video. How can you organize your workspaces in a way that promotes efficient collaboration and content management among your team? When it comes to workspace planning, there are multiple factors to take into consideration. We have content type, audience, and management. The first thing is content itself. You have to ask yourself, what kind of data are you working with? Is it patient demographics, clinical information like lab results and diagnosis, treatment plans, or financial data related to billing and insurance? Remember, the goal here is to strike a balance. So avoid workspaces that are too broad, like all hospital data, or too narrow, like Dr. Smith's patient. If it's too broad, it's going to be overwhelming. If it's too narrow, it might not be helpful for collaboration. Here are some good examples of workspaces for healthcare data. So you can say cardiology admission data 2023, hospital-wide readmission rates. So if you notice, these titles are very clear, specific, and they tell your user exactly what kind of data the workspace contains. Which leads us to factor number 2, that is the audience. So who needs access to this information that is stored in your workspace? So this could be doctors, nurses, researchers, administrators, or billing department. The key here is security. So you want to grant access based on people's job roles and how sensitive the data is. For example, doctors might need access to all patient data within their department, while the billing department might only need access to financial information. Factor number 3 is management. Let's talk about who actually manages these workspaces. We have two approaches. Is it centralized or decentralized? A centralized approach means that the IT department manages all the workspaces. This ensures consistency and strong security, which is ideal for core hospital data that everyone needs access to. On the other hand, a decentralized approach allows individual departments to manage their own workspaces. This gives them more flexibility and ownership over their specific reports, which can be helpful for department specific analysis. This is how you can plan a successful workspace in your organization. Next part is some of the best practices when it comes to naming a workspace and also when it comes to using the workspace images in Power BI service. So let's head to the final part of this video. Now that we have seen how to create a workspace, add content to that workspace, and how to efficiently plan for your workspace, let's see some best practices on how to organize your workspace in Power BI service. So, first thing is that we are going to ditch any confusing names. So imagine a dashboard that is labeled sales dashboard. So it is a lack of version control. It's a bad naming convention. So in a hospital, that would not make sense. Instead, you want to use clear titles that reflect the department. and what you are measuring and when. So for example, you can use this table as a cheat sheet on what is considered a good naming convention versus a bad naming convention. So you want to be you want to use descriptive names. You want to have a standardized format. So it's either you use no space or you use a space or you use an underscore. You want to include your metadata. So you want to say what it is about, when it was about, just like I mentioned before. If you have multiple versions of a report or a workspace, you want to include that in the name. Second, you want to categorize your data workspace. And for that, this is where the workspace images really make sense. You want to categorize your data workspaces. So you want to think of workspaces like folders on your computer. Create separate folders for each department. For example, here for the finance department, or for the cardiology, or for the emergency department data. Then within each department, you can have subfolders for different report types. It could be anything like, as we mentioned here, patient billing data or financial performance analysis for 2024. Why did I mention that the workspace image is important is because you can leverage those images to give your user a quick overview of what it is about. So if you add an F as an image, people are going to know that this is finance. You can also, instead of adding an F, you can add a dollar sign. So every time it's a dollar sign, people will know that it's for the finance department. You can play with the colors if you have internal data, or let's say you have external data as well that needs to be shared. So if you want to differentiate between those two workspaces, you can add maybe a blue for everything that is internal within the finance department and gray for everything that is external for the finance department. So these are easy and quick tips on how you use workspace images to quickly know what this workspace is about. And then finally, you can also organize them in a version control way. Version control is key. So imagine you're working on a report, but accidentally you save it over the final version, but it's not the final version. So to avoid this, you can have a system with three workspaces, and this is an approach that is commonly used. So approach would be to have a development workspace, a staging workspace, and a production workspace. And you can also add images, like you can add the images in this way. You can also have them, you can use colors. So everything that is blue is for the development, yellow testing, and then green production. So what does it mean? The development means this is your playground workspace. So for building and for testing new reports or data models. The testing, so this is where you want to think of the testing workspace as a pre-show area. So here you can test your data or your finalized reports, and you want to make sure that everything works before you share it with everyone else. And then your production workspace is the main stage. So here you only have the final drafts that you have. These are approved reports and dashboards that are live for everyone to see. Power BI workspaces are powerful for centralizing reports, dashboards, and data models. With proper configuration and organization, you can leverage workspaces to streamline collaboration and information sharing within your organization. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any question about Power BI workspaces, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe for more Power BI tips. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!